in conversation with the top brass of TCS to understand the quarter gone by and how things have transpired for India's biggest IT company and how things look for FY22. Ramki and Milind, they both join us. Ramki, before I come to you, here's something special which we've recorded for you, and I want our viewers to hear it out, and then I'll throw a question at you. I would say Ramki is a man of few words, but those few words always mattered. Every time when I would meet him on the record and off the record, and I would ask him a tough question, well, he would make it sound easy. I've always admired Ramki for his simplicity and the warmth with which he would meet us. Ramki, I shall certainly miss you for our quarterly early morning interactions. Wish you all the best in life and would love to stay connected. Before I start the conversation, Ramki, I just want to say that it's just been a pleasure and a delight to interact with you every quarter, and thank you for really making and explaining all those complex margin and all the complex theories sound very simple. So thank you for that, Ramki.
Thank you, Nikunjan. It's a great compliment coming from you. I think the nation watches you, I think, every day and many hours during the day, and coming from you, it's a great compliment. It's been a pleasure knowing you and for the last 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ramki. Ramki, the margins what you've reported for the quarter gone by are strong. I referred to a margin outlook from Rajesh and from NGS, but what I'm trying to understand, Ramki, perhaps is that there are two ways of looking at margins. One, which happened because of cost, like work at home, and second, which happened because of cost and productivity. What is the reason why margins have bumped up?
I think it's a combination of several things. I think growth being on a steady increase has also been a factor. We have always maintained when you have growth, you have more levers to operate as far as margins are concerned. And it has got demonstrated when we had a little muted growth, margins were under pressure, and then we were able to pull it back. You're right, some expenses which are perhaps not there now, but that is something which will come back when things become more normal. But what extent and how much it is, we'll have to wait and watch. But that's a smaller percentage of our overall cost structures. The third is, despite all that has been happening, our utilization, our leveraging, everything has been on a good curve. So I think that has also been helping us in this margin journey. And the more we are able to realize the full potential of the benefits that we bring to our customers, especially on the transformation agendas of our customers, and to really make that difference, we should be able to continue to maintain this margin resilience.
Ramki, but everything some would argue is for TCS is at its peak. Utilization rate, your order book, outlook, order booking. So what is the scope for margins to go from here? I mean, incrementally, if margins have to sustain here or even go higher from here, what would be that lever in place?
I think, as I said, we do a lot of incredible things for our customers, but are we realizing the full potential of that? Perhaps not. And it is also a question which is a more of a longer term nature. We have to, so that I think if we continue to work on it and to do it in a smart manner, competition will always be there. There will be players who will probably sort of compromise on margins in the pursuit of growth. So we will have to take that into account. But if we are disciplined and if we are able to have work to a particular strategy, I think we should be able to improve on that. While we continue to sustain, even sustaining is not something which comes automatically. We have to do a lot of things. We have been doing a lot of things well, but we should continue to do that. And then you can build on from here. I think we have always maintained that structurally where we are is something which is the right place to be. And we have demonstrated time and again. Of course, there will be on and off variations to it, which is understandable. But on a long-term basis, I think this is something on which we continue to be focused.
Milind, for all of us, health and safety is very important. Now that the second wave has kicked in, are you looking at revisiting some of the normalization which all of us thought would have happened, let's say, in the month of December or March when the COVID numbers had come down?
Yeah, I think few things, Nikunj. I think our people will continue to work in our SBWS mode for few more months, and until the situations we see some normalcy there. The model is in place. It is working both from productivity, quality of life, all of those standpoints. At the same time, most importantly, during this pandemic, we have to just take an extra care to take care of our people. All kinds of things. All the measures we have taken, in terms of isolation centers, quarantine centers, hospitals, facilitation, vaccination encouragement and facilitation. All of these things we have been working on continuously, and that we have to do it every day.
Milind, the attrition rate in the sector, in the numbers what you've reported, is at an all-time low. But now that supply has, supply and demand factors have changed for TCS, for the industry, for the startup world. Do you see these numbers changing somewhere dramatically in FY22?
Nikunj, I don't see it changing dramatically. I definitely expect the attrition to go up a bit, over the next few quarters. But no dramatic change I would see in FY22 at this point in time. It is overall, we have been the industry leading player from a retention standpoint. That continues. All the things which we do to make that happen, that continues. At the same time, what we need to do to take care of our people during this pandemic and to ensure that their families, everybody is safe. All of that is most important at this point, and that will actually ensure that we do the right thing for our people.
Milind, a slightly big picture question, which is that all of us were forced to work from home. It was not a choice, it was a compulsion. TCS also did the same, and that model has worked very well, and the acceptability from customers also is great. How much of the current work at home do you think will be permanent, both in terms of adaptation, both in terms of cost control, both in terms of the on-site versus offshore? What I'm trying to understand from you is that 1 year into the COVID crisis, how much change would be permanent, how much change would be reversed?
I think to give exact numbers at this time, Nikunj, would be a challenge. But you understood, you heard from us about our 25 by 25 vision. That is our vision and target operating model by 2025. So that is the way we are going to drive this organization towards. And the fact that 25 by 25 means actually it's a vision. It means different things to different customers. It means different things to people. All of that has to be consumed inside to be able to drive that model. And I expect this vision to be realized by the time by 2025, and we'll move towards that direction in coming years.
Ramki, I want to talk about the general way in which how TCS has been rewarding shareholders with buyback and with dividend. Now that growth has made a comeback, do you expect any change in that policy? Slightly bigger and slightly higher rewards could come for shareholders?
Nikunj, we have been consistent in our policy saying that 80 to 100% of free cash flow generated in a particular period we will distribute. The mode of distribution will be combination of dividends and buyback or only dividends, etc. But that's only a mechanism. But the idea is that 80 to 100% of the free cash flow, unless there is some specific requirement for any specific acquisition or something like that. If something is on the horizon, we may have a different strategy. And this 80 to 100%, we have been consistent over the years, and I don't see us moving away from that. And that's also a significant commitment to make and to adhere to it. To increase it from there, I don't think at this point of time it's not. In my view, it is not something which is advisable. But that's a decision which board will take at an appropriate time.
Ramki, even though buyback and dividends, at least at the end of the shareholder, they are not the most tax effective ways. What you're confirming it to us is that you will still stick to them in terms of benefit to the shareholder, rewarding shareholders, even though they are not the most tax efficient instruments.
I think it's see, you can't satisfy all stakeholders in every decision, so you'll have to optimize. If you take a dividend, it's now taxed in the hands of the shareholders. The buyback, the tax is paid by the company, and different classes of shareholders have different views on it. So we have to optimize this and make sure that we are able to do what is the best possible under the circumstances. But there is the regulations have also been changing, as you are aware. So one has to, there is no permanent, what we call strategy on this. We will have to take into account what is the current law and current thinking, not just from a taxation perspective, but from other aspects as well, and calibrate that decision. But I think the differences which you are alluding to are very marginal. It's not a huge difference. It doesn't become a no-brainer type of a thing. It's more marginal in my view.
Milind, closing comments. Historically, the way we would judge IT companies is we would look at the IT budgets, a very macro indicator to understand where IT growth is happening. Another basic matrix was that the net employee addition. Now, TCS is in the business of increasing productivity. The models are changing. AI has kicked in. Cloud infrastructure is getting added. What does that mean on an aggregate basis for employees? Do you think that now it will be difficult for us to look at the historical track record of employee addition and judge future growth?
Yeah, I think, Nikunj, we have seen this technology changes happening, 5 different cycles we have seen over so many years. And what it always meant is newer jobs, newer type of jobs. It never